Welcome to Session 7, Introduction to Cognitive Behavioral Therapy and DUI. In previous sessions, we have talked about DUI consequences, triggers, decision making, personal reflection, motivation for change, and goal setting. Today, we are going to introduce one of the most useful tools in counseling and recovery, cognitive behavioral therapy, also called CBT. CBT is based on a simple but powerful idea. The way we think affects the way we feel, and the way we feel affects the way we behave. In other words, our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are connected. Most people focus only on behavior. For example, someone might say, "I got a DUI because I drove after drinking." This is true, but CBT helps us go deeper. CBT asks, what were you thinking before you decided to drive? What were you feeling before you made that choice? What did you tell yourself that made the decision seem acceptable in the moment? What belief gave you permission to take the risk? This matters because people rarely make choices without thoughts. Even if the thought happens quickly, it's usually there. A DUI does not usually happen because of one single decision. It usually happens because of a chain of thoughts, feelings, choices, and behaviors. CBT helps us break that chain. The goal of today's session is not to shame you. The goal is to help you understand your thinking patterns so you can make safer and healthier decisions moving forward. We're at a pause point. Pause the video and complete worksheet section 1. What is CBT? Let's begin with the basic CBT model. The CBT model can be understood as situation leads to thought, which leads to feeling, which leads to behavior, which leads to consequence. Let's use a DUI related example. Situation: a person has been drinking and needs to get home. Thought: I am probably okay to drive. Feeling: confident, relaxed, maybe unconcerned. Behavior: the person drives. Consequence: the person gets arrested, causes an accident, hurts someone, or puts themselves and others at risk. Now let's use the same situation but change the thought. Situation: a person has been drinking and needs to get home. Thought: alcohol affects my judgment. If I'm wondering whether I'm okay to drive, that means I should not drive. Feeling: cautious, responsible, maybe slightly uncomfortable. Behavior: the person calls for a ride, calls a friend, uses a rideshare, or stays where they are. Consequence: the person gets home safely and avoids another DUI. Notice that the situation did not change. The person was still drinking. The person still needed to get home. The difference was the thought. When the thought changed, the feeling changed. When the feeling changed, the behavior changed. When the behavior changed, the consequence changed. This is why CBT is so important. It gives us a way to slow down and examine the thinking that happens before risky behavior. Many DUI decisions are connected to automatic thoughts. Automatic thoughts are quick thoughts that happen almost instantly. Sometimes we do not even realize we are having them. Examples of automatic thoughts related to DUI might include: I am fine. I only had a few. I drive better than most people. It is not that far. I have done this before, nothing happened. I do not want to leave my car. I do not want to pay for a ride. I do not want anyone to know I have been drinking. I will be careful. I'm not as drunk as other people. These thoughts may feel true in the moment, but they can be dangerous. One of the biggest problems with alcohol and drugs is that they do not only affect driving, they affect judgment, they affect confidence, they affect decision making, they affect how accurately a person can evaluate risk. This means the impaired brain may tell you that you are okay when you are not okay. CBT helps us challenge those thoughts before they become actions. We're at a pause point. Pause the video and complete worksheet section 2, my automatic thoughts. Now we are going to talk about thinking errors. A thinking error is a pattern of thought that sounds reasonable in the moment but leads to poor decisions. Everyone has thinking errors. This is not about being bad or stupid. It is about being human. The problem is that thinking errors become dangerous when they are connected to alcohol, drugs, driving, anger, relationships, or impulsive choices. Let's go through some common thinking errors related to DUI. The first thinking error is minimizing. Minimizing means making something seem smaller or less serious than it really is. Examples include, I only had a couple. It was not a big deal. I was barely over the limit. I was not driving that far. Nobody got hurt. Minimizing is dangerous because it reduces accountability. If I convince myself something is not serious, I am less likely to change. A healthier replacement thought might be, even if nobody got hurt, someone could have been hurt. Or, the fact that I received a DUI means this behavior needs to change. The second thinking error is rationalizing. Rationalizing means creating an excuse that makes the behavior seem acceptable. Examples include, I had to get home. I did not have another option. I needed my car the next day. I could not afford a ride. My friends were also drinking. Rationalizing can feel very convincing in the moment, but when we look closely, there are almost always other options. A healthier replacement thought might be, there's always another option besides driving impaired, or the inconvenience of leaving my car is better than the consequences of another DUI. The third thinking error is overconfidence. Overconfidence means believing your ability is stronger than the risk. Examples include, I can handle it. I drive fine after drinking. I know my limits. I have driven like this before. I am a good driver. The problem is that alcohol and drugs impair the very skills needed to judge whether you are safe. Overconfidence is one of the biggest risks in impaired driving. A healthier replacement thought might be, if I have been drinking or using, I cannot trust my judgment about driving. Or, being a good driver, sober does not mean I am safe to drive impaired. The fourth drinking error is emotional reasoning. Emotional reasoning means believing something is true because it feels true. Examples include, I feel fine, so I must be fine. I do not feel drunk. I feel alert. I feel in control. The issue is that feelings are not always facts. A person may feel fine and still be impaired. A person may feel confident and still be unsafe. A healthier replacement thought might be, how I feel is not a reliable measure of whether I am safe to drive. The fifth drinking error is blaming. Blaming means shifting responsibility away from yourself. Examples include, my friends let me drive. The police were targeting me. The bartender overserved me. My partner made me upset. I only drove because nobody helped me. Other people may influence situations, but each person is still responsible for the choice to drive after drinking or using. A healthier replacement thought might be, other people may have played a role, but I am responsible for my decision to drive. The sixth thinking error is all or nothing thinking. All or nothing thinking means seeing things in extremes. Examples include, I already messed up, so it doesn't matter. I had one drink, so the night is ruined anyways. I failed before, so I cannot change. I got a DUI, so I am just a bad person. This type of thinking can lead to giving up, using more, or repeating risky behavior. A healthier replacement thought might be, one bad decision does not have to become another bad decision. Or, I can take responsibility without giving up on myself. We're at a pause point. Pause the video and complete worksheet section 3, DUI thinking errors. Now, let's talk about cognitive restructuring. Cognitive restructuring is a CBT skill where we identify an unhelpful thought, challenge it, and replace it with a healthier thought. It is not about pretending everything is positive. It is not about lying to yourself. It is about thinking more clearly. Here's the basic process. Step 1, identify the situation. Step 2, identify the automatic thought. Step 3, identify the feeling. Step 4, identify the behavior that thought could lead to. Step 5, challenge the thought. Step 6, replace it with a safer, healthier thought. Let's practice with an example. Situation, I am leaving a party after drinking. Automatic thought, I am okay to drive. Feeling, confident. Possible behavior, drive home. Challenge question, what evidence do I have that this thought is safe? The honest answer might be, I do not really know. I have been drinking and alcohol affects my judgment. Replacement thought, if I have been drinking, I need a ride. I cannot accurately judge my own impairment. New behavior, call for a ride. Let's do another example. Situation, I do not want to leave my car overnight. Automatic thought, I need to drive because I need my car tomorrow. Feeling, anxious or pressured. Possible behavior, drive impaired. Challenge question, is needing my car tomorrow more important than avoiding another DUI or hurting someone? Replacement thought, I can solve the car problem tomorrow. Tonight my priority is getting home safely. New behavior, leave the car and arrange transportation. Another example. Situation, my friends are telling me I am fine to drive. Automatic thought, they think I am okay, so I must be okay. Feeling, reassured. Possible behavior, drive impaired. Challenge question, are my friends trained to measure impairment? Are they sober? Are they thinking about my legal and personal consequences? Replacement thought, my safety plan matters more than other people's opinions. New behavior, refuse to drive and arrange a safe ride. This is CBT in action. We are not just saying do not drive impaired. We are identifying the thoughts that led to impaired driving and replacing them before they become behavior. We're at a pause point. Pause the video and complete worksheet section 4, cognitive restructuring practice. Now we are going to connect CBT to relapse prevention. Relapse does not only apply to alcohol or drugs. It can also apply to old thinking patterns and old behaviors. A person may be sober, but still think in ways that put them at risk. For example, I can probably have just one. I do not need support anymore. I am different now, so the rules do not apply. I can go back around the same people and be fine. I do not need a transportation plan. I am only drinking at home, so it's not a problem. Some of these thoughts may or may not be true depending on the person, but they should be examined carefully. CBT teaches that thoughts are not commands. Just because you think something does not mean you have to believe it. Just because you feel something does not mean you have to act on it. You can pause. You can question the thought. You can choose a safer response. This is important for DUI prevention because many risky decisions happen quickly. A person might think, I am fine, and within seconds they are reaching for keys. CBT creates a space. It gives you a mental pause button. Instead of automatically believing the thought, you can ask, is this thought helpful? Is this thought safe? Is this thought based on facts? What could happen if I act on this thought? What could I tell someone I care about if they were thinking this? What would I tell someone I care about if they were thinking this? What is a better choice? These questions can interrupt the pattern. We're at a pause point. Pause the video and complete worksheet section 5, challenging risky thoughts. Let's talk about the connection between thoughts and identity. Many people who receive a DUI carry shame. They may think, I am a failure. I ruined everything. I am just like this. I will never change. I am a bad person. These thoughts can be damaging because they make change feel impossible. CBT helps separate the person from the behavior. A healthier way to think might be, I made a dangerous choice and I am responsible for changing. I can learn from this. This DUI is serious, but it does not have to define my future. I can become someone who makes safer decisions. I can rebuild trust through consistent action. That kind of thinking supports change. That kind of thinking supports change. The goal is not to avoid responsibility. The goal is to take responsibility in a way that leads to growth instead of shame. Shame says, I am bad. Responsibility says, I made a harmful choice and I can make a different choice next time. That difference matters. Shame often leads people to hide, avoid, drink, use, blame, or give up. Responsibility leads people to plan, repair, learn, and grow. CBT helps move from shame-based thinking to responsibility-based thinking. We're at a pause point. Pause the video and complete worksheet section 6. Shame thoughts versus responsibility thoughts. Now, let's create a CBT prevention plan. A CBT prevention plan is a simple plan you can use before drinking, using, going out, attending social events, or entering a risky situation. The plan includes 3 parts: my risky thoughts, my replacement thoughts, my safe actions. For example, a risky thought: I can drive if I only have a few. Replacement thought: if I drink, I do not drive. Safe action: arrange transportation before the first drink. Risky thought: I do not want to look weak asking for help. Replacement thought: asking for help is responsible. Safe action: call a support person or rideshare. Risky thought: I need my car tomorrow. Replacement thought: a car can be picked up tomorrow. A DUI or accident cannot be undone. Safe action: leave the car and make a plan to retrieve it later. Risky thought: I have already messed up. Replacement thought: one mistake does not mean I should make another. Safe action: stop, call someone, and choose the safest next step. Your prevention plan should be written before you need it. The worst time to make a safety plan is when you're already impaired, emotional, angry, or pressured. The best time is now, when you are sober and thinking clearly. We're at a pause point. Pause the video and complete worksheet section 7, my CBT DUI prevention plan. As we close the session, remember that CBT is not just a counseling theory, it is a practical tool. It helps you notice what is happening inside your mind before your behavior creates consequences. CBT teaches that thoughts are powerful, but they are not always accurate. You do not have to believe every thought. You do not have to act on every feeling. You can slow down, challenge the thought, and choose a safer behavior. A DUI often begins before a person starts driving. It begins with a thought: I am fine. It is not fair. It is not far. I will be careful. I can handle it. Today, you practice challenging those thoughts. That skill can protect your freedom, your relationships, your future, and the safety of other people. The goal moving forward is to become more aware of your thoughts, more honest about your risks, and more intentional with your decisions. Change does not happen all at once. It happens one thought, one choice, and one behavior at a time. Thank you for participating in session 7.